When I wrote the book, A Sense of Urgency, again, that was based on is what I've observed is when people got the large-scale changes done well, one of the things that happens at the beginning is that you get a lot of activity where people start wanting to find a big opportunity, and eventually they kind of converge on something because they're all looking at the same reality,
right.
The same markets and the same. But sometimes it can take a long time. Now, one of the things that you guys invented was let's not take that much time. Let's help them to make these big changes faster.
Right.
All right. And so this notion of the big opportunity of helping it get going, identified fast, and then getting a lot of people aligned around it fast. Critical. Now, well, from watching that, it appears, it's sinking in that seems to be important, but you've been closer to some of that stuff. It's critical. I mean, remind me, why?
A couple things come to mind, John. First of all, reading the book, Sense of Urgency, so many people look at the concept of creating urgency, and they fool themselves into thinking that they have enough urgency within their organization to drive and propel through large-scale transformational change. The reality is it's rarely, if ever, the case. And so what we really want to do, and what I have found to be so useful and successful, first of all, the term big opportunity. We focus on the possibilities.
As opposed to the bullets.
The fear-based, exactly. Yeah. So we look, and oftentimes we'll facilitate with the senior leadership team to get them crystal clear on what's the window of opportunity that if we have a sense of urgency and we have people who voluntarily want to contribute, what can we potentially capitalize on? What can propel us into the future? What can sustain our market competitive position in the marketplace? But getting clarity on that big opportunity amongst the senior team is very critical because you have to have all the leaders aligned around the same opportunity.
From what you've seen over your career, even in good firms, where at least the top guy or somebody that you respect says, "Oh no, we're all aligned around this." The top 10 people. Well, you're answering my question before I get to it. How often is that the actual case from your?
One of my favorite sayings of all time is the human being is the only living creature with the capacity and propensity for self-deception. And oftentimes, it's almost 9 times out of 10, a senior leadership believes that the reality is everybody's aligned. Part of our process, as you know, is we talk to and interview all senior leaders before we start doing any work. One of the questions I always ask is, how aligned are you as a team? Or even more interesting is asking the question, if you were sitting in Mr. CEO or Mrs. CEO's office and you asked that person, what are the top 2 or 3 things you have to accomplish as a company over the next 12 to 18 months, how would they answer that?
Right.
And we collect that data, and oftentimes we'll share that with the senior leader and say, you believed everybody was on the same page. The reality is you have 8 members who are going in different directions. So think about what that lack of alignment creates within an organization. If you have senior leaders telling different stories, it creates frustration amongst the ranks, misunderstandings, chaos. And it's not that these people don't have good intentions. It's just we're not singing the same song.
And